In the dimly lit basement of an old, decrepit house, Thomas stood before an ancient, weathered tome, its pages filled with forbidden knowledge. He had spent years researching and preparing for this moment. The ritual to sever his ties with the occult gang was his last hope for salvation. The gang had promised power and riches, but as the darkness of their actions consumed him, Thomas yearned for freedom. The ritual began with incantations in an eerie, guttural language that sent shivers down his spine. Candles flickered ominously, casting dancing shadows on the damp stone walls. Thomas's trembling hands traced intricate symbols on the floor, and he felt an eerie presence fill the room, as if the very air itself recoiled at his actions. As the incantations reached their peak, Thomas drew a dagger and cut deeply into his palm, allowing his blood to flow onto the open pages of the ancient tome. His pain mixed with the dread that hung in the air, and a blinding flash of white light engulfed him. The ritual was complete, and he felt a surge of relief wash over him. But his relief was short-lived. As the white light faded, Thomas realized that something had gone horribly wrong. The room was eerily silent, and the air grew frigid. He looked around, his heart pounding, and that's when he saw them. The apparitions of the occult gang members materialized before him, their faces twisted in anger and anguish. Their hollow eyes bore into his soul as they reached out to him, their ghostly hands grasping at thin air. "Thomas," their voices whispered, a haunting chorus of anger and betrayal. "You thought you could escape us? You are bound to us for eternity." Fear clawed at Thomas's heart as he stumbled back, but there was no escape. The gang members' vengeful spirits haunted him relentlessly, day and night, driving him to the brink of madness. They whispered tormented thoughts into his mind, pushing him further into the abyss. Thomas's world crumbled around him. He could no longer distinguish between reality and the supernatural. The walls of his sanity crumbled as he wandered the streets, muttering to himself, haunted by the malevolent specters that only he could see and hear. His once lucid mind deteriorated as he descended into madness. Thomas became a ghostly figure himself. His body withered away, his eyes vacant and hollow. The lines between the living and the dead blurred until, one fateful night, he embraced his fate. In a final, desperate act, he surrendered to the spirits that had tormented him. The ritual had severed his ties with the occult gang, but it had also severed his ties with reality. In the end, Thomas joined the very spirits he had tried to escape, becoming a tortured soul eternally trapped in the netherworld, forever haunted by the dark path he had chosen. There was no redemption, no salvation, only the chilling embrace of eternal torment in the company of the vengeful spirits that had claimed him.